Introduction to Ensemble Learning, Week 8 to 9. Ensemble learning helps us make better predictions by combining the strengths of multiple models. Today, let us learn the essentials of ensemble methods, see examples with the Pima Indians diabetes dataset, and practice with easy, hands-on code. This lesson will be very beginner-friendly. Let us get started. Running the cell now. Let us begin by setting up our dataset. We turn off warnings to keep our output clean. We import pandas, which helps us handle data in tables. Import numpy as np. We set the random seed to 42 for reproducibility. We load the Pima Indians diabetes data from a public website. We create simple, readable column names for each value. We read the data into pandas with column names included. We print the number of rows and columns. That shows our dataset size. We preview the first 3 rows to see the kind of data we have. Running the cell now. The output shows the initial shape and structure of the Pima Indians diabetes dataset, with 768 rows and 9 columns, including key features like glucose and BMI, plus the target column's outcome. This confirms we have a balanced dataset for practice, setting the stage to apply ensemble methods that will leverage these features to improve prediction accuracy. Quick data check. Let us take a moment to look at the dataset columns. Each row is a patient record, and the outcome column tells us if diabetes was diagnosed. Running the cell now. Next, let us check for any missing values. This tells us if there are blanks or problems in the data. Running the cell now. This output shows that there are 0 missing values across all columns, meaning our dataset is complete and ready for analysis. Noticing no gaps in key features like glucose and outcome ensures that subsequent steps, like modeling diabetes diagnosis, won't be affected by incomplete data. This quick data check confirms the dataset's reliability for our next tasks. Try running this on any dataset before you start analysis. Let us see basic summary statistics. This helps us understand the ranges and averages of each measurement. Running the cell now. This output summarizes key statistics for each column, showing the dataset has 768 patient records with varying values like age and glucose levels. Notice the outcome column has a mean of about 0.35, indicating roughly 35% of patients were diagnosed with diabetes. These insights help confirm data consistency and distributions before deeper analysis. What is ensemble learning? Ensemble learning is a technique where we combine several models to get more reliable predictions. Imagine asking a group instead of just one person for advice. The group's answer is often more accurate. Popular ensemble methods include bagging, boosting, and stacking. Running the cell now. Let us split our data into training and testing sets. We import a helper to do this easily. We separate the features from the result, outcome. Outcome is our target, what we want to predict. We save 3/4 to practice on, and keep 1/4 unseen for testing. Running the cell now. This code splits the dataset into training and testing sets, reserving 25% of data for testing. Notice how the features and target variable are separated to ensure the model learns from inputs x_train and verifies predictions on unseen data x_test. This step is crucial before ensemble learning, as it helps evaluate how combining models will improve accuracy on new data. Bagging, bootstrap aggregating. Bagging stands for bootstrap aggregating. It builds many simple models on slightly different samples of the data, then averages their answers. This helps reduce mistakes caused by chance or outliers. A classic example is the random forest. Running the cell now. Before we see ensembles, let us check how a single tree does. We import a decision tree classifier. We make the classifier and set a random seed for repeatable results. We train the tree on our training data. We print how well it predicts on test data. Running the cell now. This output shows the accuracy of a single decision tree model on the test set, which is about 71%. Notice that this score reflects the performance of just one model trained on the full dataset. In the context of bagging, this sets a baseline to compare against, as bagging will build many such trees on different samples to improve and stabilize accuracy. Now let us use an ensemble, a random forest. Random forests build multiple decision trees and combine their predictions. We create the classifier and choose the number of trees. We train on our training data. We check its accuracy on the test set. Running the cell now. This output shows the accuracy of a random forest model, which uses bagging by training 50 decision trees on different bootstrap samples of the data. The accuracy of approximately 74% on the test set demonstrates how aggregating multiple models helps improve prediction stability and performance compared to a single model. This highlights the key benefit of bagging, reducing errors caused by random chance or outliers. Notice if the accuracy improves after using an ensemble. Let us find out which features are most important to the model. We import NumPy for math and matplotlib to make a plot. The random forest tells us how much each feature matters. We get the importance values. We sort them from most to least important. We set the title of the chart. We plot their importance as a bar chart. We add labels for each feature. We set up the layout so nothing overlaps. We show the plot to see results. Running the cell now. This bar chart shows the importance of each feature as determined by the random forest model, which uses bagging to combine many decision trees. Notice how some features have much higher importance values, indicating they contribute more to the model's predictions. This visualization helps us understand which variables the ensemble relies on most, reinforcing how bagging aggregates varied insights from multiple samples. Boosting, learning from mistakes. Boosting builds models one after another. Each new model pays extra attention to the hardest examples, the ones previous models got wrong. Boosting can help even simple models perform much better. A popular method here is AdaBoost or gradient boosting. Running the cell now. Let us try out boosting using AdaBoost. We load the AdaBoost classifier. It is a boosting model. We create the AdaBoost instance with 50 simple models inside. We train using the training data. We print the accuracy to see if it improves. Running the cell now. The output shows that the AdaBoost model achieved about 73.4% accuracy on the test set, demonstrating improved performance by focusing on previously misclassified examples. This reflects the key idea of boosting, successively correcting mistakes to build a stronger overall model. Notice how even with simple base learners, boosting can meaningfully enhance test accuracy. Next, let us try a different boosting method, gradient boosting. We import gradient boosting classifier. We create the model and choose 50 boosting steps. We train on the training data. We check the test accuracy. Running the cell now. This output shows the test accuracy of a gradient boosting model, which is 0.75, meaning it correctly predicts 75% of the test examples. This result highlights how boosting improves performance by sequentially focusing on harder to classify data points, helping even a simple model reach better accuracy. Notice how the code's intent is to demonstrate boosting's ability to learn from mistakes and enhance prediction quality. Stacking, combining different models. Stacking uses several different model types at once, like trees, logistic regression, and k-nearest neighbors. A second model then learns to blend their predictions into a single result. Let us see a simple stacking example. Running the cell now. Let us build a stacking ensemble. We import logistic regression for linear classification. We import k-nearest neighbors for a different approach. We import stacking classifier to combine multiple models. We define our first layer models, logistic regression, k-nearest neighbors, and a decision tree. We give the first a name and create its instance. We give the second a name and its model. We include a decision tree too, as a base learner. We close the list of base learners. We build a stacking model, using logistic regression to blend their results. We train on the training data. We print the accuracy from all models combined. Running the cell now. This output shows the accuracy of a stacked model combining logistic regression, k-nearest neighbors, and a decision tree, with a logistic regression final estimator blending their predictions. The accuracy of about 74.5% reflects how effectively stacking leveraged diverse model strengths to improve predictive performance. Notice how stacking integrates multiple algorithms to potentially outperform any single base model alone. Let us try changing the test size and see what happens. Tell the program what part of the data to save for testing. We turn your answer into a number. We make a new train and test split using your choice. We make another random forest for this run. We train it again. We print the accuracy so you can compare. Running the cell now. This output shows the accuracy of a random forest model on a test set whose size you chose interactively. Notice how changing the test size affects the train test split and, consequently, the model's performance. This step helps illustrate the impact of data partitioning before stacking multiple models for improved predictions. How does your test size affect your accuracy? Pause and rerun with a different value if curious. Tips for ensemble learning. Ensembles often work best when the individual models are different. Too many models or too much complexity can cause overfitting, where predictions work well on training data, but not on new data. Always test your ensemble on data the models did not see during training. Running the cell now. This is a challenge to try improving the model's accuracy. We import grid search CV to search for the best model parameters. We define the parameters for number of trees and max depth to test. We create a grid search object using a random forest and our parameters. We run the grid search to train and evaluate all parameter combinations. We print the best accuracy score found during the search. We print the parameters that achieved the best accuracy. Running the cell now. This output shows the best accuracy and parameters found by searching over different ensemble sizes and tree depths in a random forest. Notice that a moderate number of trees, 30, and a limited max depth, 5, achieved the highest cross-validation score, highlighting the balance between model complexity and overfitting. This confirms the lesson tip that tuning ensemble diversity and complexity carefully can improve generalization on unseen data. Practice exercise. Try swapping in AdaBoost or gradient boosting classifier for stacking's final estimator, or add new base learners. Which combination gives the best results for you? Running the cell now. Recap: what did we learn? Ensemble learning combines models for stronger predictions. Bagging and boosting use different tricks to help accuracy. Stacking blends different model types. Now you have built your first ensemble models. Running the cell now. Thanks for following along. Like this video and subscribe for more friendly, hands-on Python and data mining tutorials. See you in the next lesson. Running the cell now. Try running one ensemble method on your next dataset. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe for more beginner data science lessons.